fantastic. Well, listen, thank you for taking the time to speak to me. Of course, it is a nice evening in the UK at the moment. First things first, how's your day been and how are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Busy. One of them days where you can't catch your breath, so it's nice to chill out and chat to you for a bit.
Yeah, what's been keeping you busy today?
Work.
Yeah,
Always work. Yeah, believe it or not, riffs don't pay my bills. So yeah, I've got a 9 to 5.
I am shocked.
Are you really?
Yeah,
What
yeah, of
that
course.
sludge doesn't fucking pay my mortgage? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, find me any band. I mean, how do you make your money make money in the music industry these days? Anyone really? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, real life keeps you busy and stuff. But of course, it's great that you have so much going on elsewhere because September is kind of shaping up to be a bit of a special month for you, indeed. First, obviously, we've just had This Was Always Going to End in War. That's the new single that is out alongside a cool-ass video. It's gone down really, really well, really well. Have you been paying attention to the reaction to it?
Yeah. It's a bit of a surprise. I mean, considering the fact that, I mean, we literally filmed that video in a couple of hours in our practice space because that wasn't originally going to be the second single.
Okay.
If you've listened to the album, I don't know if you listened to the album, it was going to be a different song, and then we had to change tack slightly because of the shit show that the country's in at the moment. So we changed and we went for that, and then we realised, fuck, this single's coming out soon. We haven't got a video, and we literally just set up in our practice space, set the backdrop up, and the three of us just filmed it together. It's literally filmed on camera phones with a torch for a strobe light, proper down and dirty. I've edited it all. And yeah, to see people liking it, I mean, it's a bit of a curveball, I think, that song, because we're generally about slow songs dragging out for 6 and 7 minutes. And for this thing to be, I think it's 3 minutes 50. It's lightning fast. It kicks you in the teeth. It's nice to see that people are kind of liking that side of us.
Yeah, I mean, I went in with I was preempted by your words actually in the kind of release that kind of went around it, and you describing it as being such a violent, hostile, kind of nasty piece of work. It kind of prepared me for something a bit different, and a very welcome difference as well. Not that anything's to complain about what you kind of normally do, what's your bread and butter, but it's nice to have this little bit of variety.
Yeah, and it's like you're in that sort of privileged position of getting that press release and being like, okay, other people not so fortunate. As soon as that fucking thing presses play, it kicks you straight in the teeth, and it doesn't slow down for 4 minutes. And yeah, it's a special song. I like this one a lot.
Has that been played live at any point up to yet?
Yeah, we've done it twice, and both times it was carnage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we did it in London. We played all day festival at New Cross with Feeling My Mouth headlining, so like really hardcore crowd. And yeah, we went down interestingly because a lot of the hardcore kids were like, "What the fuck's this?" But then there were like 16, 17-year-olds that were like, "It was January this year," and then there was like,
"Oh, reality unfolds, reality unfolds." Yeah,
it was mega, but it was a completely different sort of ballpark for us. And then we dropped that one in, and is the stage dive and is the two-stepping, and that's the sort of shit I like. So, and then we played it in Nottingham. We opened for Conan recently. I played it there, and same thing: stage diving, chaos. It's weird that the different song in our set isn't the slow one where people catch a breather. It's we'll kick the shit out of each other, and then we'll have another 30 minutes of just headbanging.
Yeah. I presume, I mean, considering that reaction and obviously with what's coming up, because you've obviously got some more live dates with A Horse Called War, starting on the 12th in Rotherham and stopping off in Leicester, London, and then later on the 21st in Birmingham. I kind of presume you've got the rough idea of what the set list will look like.
Yeah, there's a bit of everything. So there's the 2 new singles. There's some old stuff. There's covered everything. So there's 2 off the new one, 2 off of New Soul Mighty, previous album. And then we always finish on a song called Last of the Summer Slime from Flat Cat Bastard Features EP. So it's 5 tracks for us is long.
Yeah.
that is a headline set for us. I mean, generally, if we're doing 30 minutes, you're getting 3 songs, and that's your fucking lot. So yeah, for us doing 5 songs, it's quite knackering. Believe it or not, it's and they're quite involved songs. They're pretty intense. They're quite intense vocally. There's a fair bit going on.
And these can be quite sweatbox of venues as well. I mean, the one in London you'll be doing is the Dev, which is, can be quite a stuffy little place.
Yeah, I was talking to Chris from London Doom Collective, because it's those guys that are running that. Because I showed them the big fucking backdrop that we've bought for this tour, and it's 10 foot wide. And I messaged him and I went, "Is this going to be all right?" And he's like, "It's going to literally take up half the pub. It's going to be brilliant." I was like, "Right, okay. At least everybody's on board," kind of thing.
Oh, so
but
you're going to use it.
I like small venues, but pack people in, get up close and personal, fuck your ears. It's all good.
It's the centre of Camden as well. It is. Was it a Friday or a Saturday? It's a Friday night, isn't it? Yeah.
Saturday night.
Saturday night it is. So there you go. Centre of Camden, Saturday night. The Dev is a beloved pub as well.
Yeah. All the cocaine dealers are going to be really confused. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to it.
I'll swear to also look forward to. Most importantly as well, it's obviously new album time. Drown and Glory out September 27th via APF Records. Right now, where's your head at with it? Are you kind of still enjoying the ride to the build, or are you kind of interested or desperate to get it out?
I'm enjoying it. It's because it's not that far away. We've had good sort of feedback off 2 singles. I'm getting, because the thing is, we're sort of getting drip fed stuff at the same time. So like the records literally turned up at APF. So we're picking up on stuff as, the public's getting to hear stuff as well. So it's quite exciting still. But yeah, there's some curveballs on this album. I'm really, really excited for people to hear it. And then you get to sit on the 27th with bated breath and wait for the reviews to start coming in. It's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, because I want to actually take you back, really, the hardest thing, really, to the very start of when this first record was coming into your head, and specifically its vision more than anything else. Did you have a vision when you first set out to write this new album?
No. And the reason for that is that's why it's taken so long, because we don't tend to half-ass stuff. We could put any old shite out if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think we're better than that. And I think the people that like this band deserve better than that. So, no, there wasn't really a goal. We'd got a lot of the riffs out, and we'd sort of come with structures, and we got songs, the music bits written. But no, lyrically, with no ideas. And then it just snowballed. And all these, this band's been troubled from day one. It's literally everything we've ever done has been fueled by personal stuff. So
yes,
the lyrics are always going to be personal for us. I'm not just I like Dungeons and Dragons in metal. I like fantasy stuff, but that's not what we're about. Yeah. So it was always going to be something close to me. And then, it just slowly but surely, it became apparent that it was all about the same stuff. It was about stuff from 8 years ago when my brother-in-law died, really, and then just the aftermath from that, and all fun shit.
At what point did you start to see that picture become clearer, though? Because, okay, you don't start off with necessarily a clear vision of what you want to do. But as you say, it starts to snowball. There has to come a point when you can sit back and go, this is now the picture. A puzzle coming together, effectively.
Yeah. See, those events are they're never far away from my mind anyway. And to an extent, it's always been sort of featured in our stuff. But, I mean, a key thing for us is I always end up writing like the nastiest and most like bleak lyrics when I'm on holiday. So we got the whole the music was done, a bunch of the lyrics were done, and then I went on holiday in November last year, and on the flight I went, this isn't good enough. We could be doing better, and I literally rewrote the lyrics to 3 songs on a cruise. Because when I'm nice and chilled out, all that shit starts to come, and I seem to write all that sort of heavy stuff. And it was at that point I'm like, all right, I am writing about those sorts, you know, I'm writing about the same stuff.
Hmm.
But it made sense. And that's why I was literally rewriting it, because I'm like, well, if we did it this way, it would fit better.
Yeah.
There's that sort of theme going the whole way through. But yeah, I was literally my missus had really bad seasickness for 2 days, so I spent 2 days on a cruise just with a pen and paper, and literally just sat, right, let's get deep here, see how far we can go.
Is it as simple as that because you're just left to your own devices, there's nothing to distract you, so to speak, so it all just comes up?
Kind of. It's weird. It's when I'm at my sort of happiest,
Yeah.
all that horrible shit's really easy to come out. So there's a
Mm.
track on the last album, on Noose Almighty, which I literally wrote at Disney World. I was walking around Disney World with a riff in my head and then the lyrics, and it literally was in my head for 2 weeks while I was in America. Got home, grabbed a guitar, and just tracked it on my phone. And it's like I'm walking around looking at Donald Duck with my lad and my wife and kids, and this shit's going through my head. And
Yeah, it's
it's
called
just
the
how my
happiest
brain
place
works.
in the world.
Exactly. And yeah, it seems to be holidays for
Interesting.
me is where I'm. Yeah, it's weird, but it works. So
Have you ever tried to dig into that? Or is it just, you know what, don't mess with it because it's a winning
again,
formula?
yeah, let's not fuck with it. I genuinely think it is when you've got day-to-day stuff going on, when you know, day-to-day stresses, it's hard to sort of then, oh, let's also take a chunk and we'll start writing miserable lyrics. Bit of sunshine, and that's where it it's really bizarre. But yeah, I was writing stuff on the plane back,
Hmm?
writing stuff on a cruise. Yeah, get me relaxed and I'll start I'll start venting.
I guess it's a good way, not to belittle it, obviously, but like, it's a good way to guarantee a holiday every time you want to write a new album.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get
give me
on
once
your flight.
once every 2 years. It's all good. Get me on holiday.
Um, how about the bigger picture? And I guess this is speaking about the entire band in general. The approach to the overall writing on this album, how did that differ to Noose Almighty? Did you do anything particularly different this time around?
No. The only thing that we did that was different was with Noose. I think we'd literally got those songs written 6 months before we booked a studio.
Mm.
Everything was tight. We'd practiced everything, and we literally got that thing done in 3 days when we went to a studio. With this, with Drowning Glory, like I say, we were rewriting stuff a week before we got the studio booked, and then going, actually, this bit could be a little bit tighter, or this
Mm.
bit could be shorter, or why don't we do this? So we didn't have that 3 months of practice. We walked in, everything was fresh. There's a bit of urgency, I think, in some of these songs because they're not all 8 and 9 minutes long. Most of them are 6. I think 6 is about average, but like I said, there's sub 4-minute stuff. There's just a bit of vibrancy is not probably the right word for us, but
Mm.
there's a real sort of desire to get these riffs into people's faces, and I think that's quite apparent because obviously we'd not put anything out since 2021, and we really wanted to get music out and want people to hear it. I don't know if that's contributed to the writing, but we're it's leaning a little bit more into the hardcore side of our sound. The death
Yeah.
stuff sort of has ramped up. Yeah, I think we've just leaned into his influences a bit more. I think we've been a bit freer. I think those sort of couple of years has given us a chance to really sort of dial in what we like about this band and what we do.
Oh, that's interesting. So, I mean, because that's development, right? That's development as an artist,
Yeah.
development as a band, development as a creative. Over these past few years, you've learned a little bit more about yourselves. But you can identify that now. Go back to that writing period where you're able to identify that then.
Yeah, about 2 weeks before we walked in the studio, I'm like, shit, there's a lot of hardcore riffs on this album kind of thing. Is anybody gonna mind? And so far nobody's minded. So I think, the gamble's paid off. I think it sounds like us. That the first single we put out, "Know You're Worthless,"
Yeah.
is basically a 7-minute breakdown. The whole song is breakdowns. I love it.
So do a lot of people as well. So clearly something is working. You're right. It's interesting because obviously you've had two different approaches to do different albums. Looking at both have benefits, both have negatives. Which do you think you preferred? Like the more structured approach originally, or this more frantic, short time one?
I've liked how I've done things this time because it's out of our comfort zone. We generally, everything's super slick, super rehearsed, because when we go into a studio, I like to basically, if everything's super practiced, I've got a bit of time for experimentation. We can do weird stuff. We can do vocal layers. We can do feedback and samples and all that shit. With this, I mean, this only took 4 days to record. So we've splashed out for an extra day in a studio. But yeah, there's something about being on your toes a little bit that's quite exciting, to be in a studio and be like, all right, we're up against it here. Let's see what happens. And yeah, it's quite exciting as a I don't like using artist, but as a musician to be like, all right, this is costing me a fortune. We've got to get this done. But let's try this quickly. And most of the album is first or second take tops. We just went in and just battered it as hard as we could.
Did a lot sort of end up on the cutting room floor, to use that term?
No, everything that we'd written, as I say, we were doing sort of a little bit of sort of self-editing before we walked into the studio. Like I'd literally be on the group chat going, I've listened back to this, take this bit out, wicked. And then literally I think we had a couple of practices before we went to record. Yeah, let's play it through. That actually that makes sense. It's better that way. But that was it. Yeah, we walked in with the 7 songs that we were going to record. If anything, we add to it because Owen, who does our recording, he gets us. And I was texting before, I'm going, right, there will be an acoustic guitar on this album. There is piano on it. Are we sort of equipped for that? Are we up for it? And he's like, yeah, fine. And when I'm saying to him, I think we can get a clean vocal on this, because there's only a couple of times just a bit of a layer. And he's like, yeah, fuck it, get the headphones on, let's try it. So even so we had the extra day, but that just sense of thinking on your feet a little bit was quite fun.
Fun, yes, I'd imagine so. And clearly you had a damn good time. Certainly a very creative time, but obviously there would have been challenges nonetheless. Looking at the overall creative period, and you can take this from the writing to recording and all of that, whatever stage you want. What were some of the challenges that you specifically faced?
I mean, I'm playing bass on this album, which we've not really talked about because it's not that big a deal to me. But the day that Martin was due to play bass to record, the drums were done, most of the guitars were done. I've been doing bits of vocals throughout to try and save my voice a little bit.
Yep.
So when it came to do bass, it was literally just there's a bit of vocals left and it's bass. And he walked in and went, "I'm not very well, lads. I'm gonna have to go home. I'm not well." I'm like, right, fuck, okay. I says, "Leave your bass, I'll do it." And it was literally it. And I hadn't played any of the bass lines, and I just literally made it up. I just sort of sit and go, okay, I know the song's on guitar. Let's see what sort of comes out. So everything on bass is literally me working it out on the spot, which is fun because you've got an audience of like you record an engineer and Dave, our drummer, sat watching like But I'm trying to play how Martin plays. I'm like, it needs to sound like him because he's going to play this shit live. What would Martin do? So that was fun. That was like that again, comfort zone, completely out of it because I don't play bass. So it's
why?
It's
why
cool.
even volunteer? I mean, I understand time constraints, right? It's got to be that.
Because of this, we're a fucking we're a DIY band. You're paying for a studio. I mean, Owen's a friend of ours. He cut us favors, but at the same time, he's took a day out of his time to come record us. We're not going to go, all right, okay, we'll just chalk this one up. We'll pay for it. It's like, no, the album's nearly done. We fucking pull our socks up and we figure it out. It was like with Martin's blessing. He's like, yeah, crack on, just do it. I'm not well enough. We can't afford to wait any longer. We don't want to wait any longer to get this bloody album out. It's close to Christmas, so it's Owen's booked up until fucking February. Now's the time. So it was literally just grab a bass. I know the songs, I know where all the notes are, and then just put a few little flourishes in to sort of make it sound like him.
You're happy with how it turned out, regardless.
I love how the bass sounds on this.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, don't tell Martin that, but yeah, no, the bass tone on this fucking album is ridiculous. It sounds massive. But that's because I literally went, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so I just kicked the shit out of it. I just literally played the strings as hard as I could, and then you can hear that. You can definitely hear it on the album. There's just so I'm Liam from Hidden Mothers, friend of mine. I sent him the album months ago and just have a listen to this. He's like, well, I'm driving to Manchester, so I'll stick it on. And he texted me when he got to Manchester, and there was a part where the bass tone is like, I genuinely thought there was something wrong with the car. He's like, I thought there was a fucking engine fault. He says there was just this clanging sound, and he's like, oh, it's the bass.
That's incredible.
For him, I mean, he's a bass player. It was a nice compliment. So,
yeah, massive shout out to Hidden Mothers, incredible band. Also got an album out this year, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so challenges, switch that around then to some of your favorite moments of this entire creative process for this album. So again, beginning to end, the sort of moments that either stood out because they were fun or because they challenged you in a positive way.
There's two. So fun is, so the closing track on this is a song called As Cold as Blood. And the whole idea, the whole thing that we built that round was literally the one line before the breakdown comes in, which is, no one's going to fucking save you. And it was basically that idea came to my head, and I'm like, let's work backwards. And Dave, our drummer, he admits that he's a pop punk guy. He doesn't listen to a lot of sludge. He's bringing a lot of sort of punk stuff into how he plays. He likes metal, but he's not into your Iron Monkeys and that sort of thing. It's not him, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So to me to go, right, this is what I want to do, and then basically trying to explain to Dave what a beatdown is, and what mosh calls are, and he's like, all right, okay. So figuring that out, because it was originally, I think it was no one's going to come and save you, and then it was like, no, actually, got a better idea, and then we worked the ending out. Then we figured out what was going to come into that. So that was cool. And then the song Chapter and Hearse is, that's like about as personal as I think we've ever got. It's about as hard hitting as we've got lyrically. But there is a minute and a bit of acoustic guitar. There is a big sample. There's piano. And it's like, we're pushing every possible boundary of what should be acceptable for a sludge band. And then it comes back in after that sample and it kicks the shit out of you again, which is like, let's bring you back. let's return to like your regular scheduled programming kind of thing. It's a big fucking riff.
I completely understand what you're saying. Like, there's obviously an expectation on your sound and what you should be kind of delivering. But hell, man, you experimenting and doing little things different here. That's just exciting, and it guarantees that you don't get complacent. And we, as listeners and fans, we don't get complacent either.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I want to put out something that sounds like us, and as long as it sounds like the three of us, then fuck it. We do what makes us happy to write. I don't think anybody's gonna sort of begrudges of like, oh god, there's an acoustic guitar on this. Fuck these guys. It makes sense in the I'm not doing ballads. It makes sense in the context of that song, and it sort of lures you into a false sense of security, and it's almost like playing with people's emotions a little bit, or playing with what is expected, and that's literally what being in a band's about. And you've got to try and push yourself and push your listeners. I desperately wanted to put trumpets on the previous album, and I bottled it. There's just one bit where I was like, oh, this would be so sick with just a brass section,
Yeah.
And I bottled it, and a mate of mine went, "You're an idiot, you should just done it." I was like, "Nobody would have minded." There's slide
No,
guitar and all sorts of shit on that record, and it's like, you should have just done it. Nobody would have cared, and it's just a cool little treat in the middle of all them sort of horrible, sort of down-tuned riffs. So this time, it was literally just, fuck it, we'll just do what we feel like.
absolutely. You grow every day. You learn something new about yourself. You grow as an artist. Nobody who's a fan of you and your music and what you create should want you to stagnate like that. So if they do, they're not really fans anyway, and they're never going to follow you along your career.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I hate that term fans, because I'm no better than people that are listening to us. You know, we're all in it together. That is why it's the Bastard Club. We're all in it together. I'm just fucking writing riffs for people that happen to, you know, like this band. But yeah, I'm kind of. I used to be a bit more wrapped up in what is expected.
Yeah.
And now it's like, yeah, no, they'll like it. It'll be fine.
They will. They will. Total faith in you guys. You've earned a lot of goodwill. Bear that in mind as well. So unless it's going to do
Yeah, so we
something
can ruin a bit of it, and then
yeah,
we can put some shit out, and it's absolutely fine.
Okay, obviously, so that's September, incredibly busy, and then we're coming to the end of the year. So we kind of want to look a bit beyond that, beyond 2024 and 2025. I'm not going to ask you to list a lot of plans that you might have in place. What I kind of want to get an idea of is what a realistic goal that you would like to achieve next year specifically.
Bloodstock, Sophie Stage, World's Slowest Wall of Death.
Yeah, okay.
That's what we've. I mean, main stage would be perfect, but the Bloodstock show that we did in 2021 was such a step up for us. And it was kind of obvious at that point where it's like things were starting to fall in place for us as a band. Like we all wear the Bastard Club uniform. That pretty much happened around that show.
Yeah.
That was the second time we did the World's Slowest Wall of Death. That was, you know, we were really starting to sort of gel as a band. And all the stuff that I think makes us quite unique and makes us a bit fun, makes us a bit different, was happening around that time. So I'd love to go back there on a bigger stage and batter the place. That's it. And I mean, I've sent quite a lot of messages to Simon, who books bands. I'll keep trying. I'll keep badgering that man, because yeah, I think it'd be almost like coming full circle.
Yeah.
I think we've grown so much since then, and we've played with so many cool bands since then. It's like, yeah, that'd just cap things off quite nicely for us. If we could have fucking 500 people in that World's Slowest Wall of Death, that's a big one for me, man.
Oh yeah, hopefully something works out there, because we're there next year. We'd love to see you there. And for people watching and listening to this, tag them, tag the shit out of them, and tag Swamp Coffin in that as well. Book them and so on. It's the best way to kind of get the word out. Just tell everyone that's listening, who you want for the fest.
Yeah, we will be sending bribes to him as soon as we've got physical copies of the vinyl, man. It's going to Simon's house.
That's the way.
That's it.
That's the way. All right, we're coming up to 8 o'clock, so we're not quite finished yet, though. A couple of minutes of your time. This is Ozzy Osbourne, and in his head are cards of everything and anything that we've written up over the years, including a ton of submissions from bands and artists that we've also spoken over the years. You will have the opportunity to include one yourself if you want. What I do is I just take some out at random. It's all in the name of fun, so nothing too serious. But yeah, so I'm going to pull some out. Okay, right. We start off with, what is something you would like to understand better?
My own brain and thoughts.
Okay.
Let's go fucking deep.
I'm just thinking, I was just immediately like, all right, how could you do that? What's available to you in this world? Is supposedly, really smart and beautiful world we live in that would give the opportunity to do that. And all I come back to is, isn't that just therapy?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, the screaming helps, the riffs help. But yeah, it'd be nice to sort of organise this fucking filing cabinet of a brain, and yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, but then
hard medication, I think that's the only way that's going to do
it. Okay, right. Something completely different. What is your earliest memory of? What is your earliest memory of playing a video game?
Amstrad CPC 464 Target Renegade.
Holy. Well, that's the first time that has ever come up, and I reckon will be the only time that ever comes up.
Yeah, probably will be.
What do you remember about it? Because do you remember it quite well?
Yeah, because the thing is, I'd have been like 7. So my mates had got Mega Drives, and we went on a Mega Drive budget as a family, and I got a second-hand Amstrad for Christmas with a shitload of games. That was literally first console I ever. I say console, it was fucking cassette driven and took 13 minutes to load a game up. But yeah, it was. I literally saw that box art. I think it's a dude doing a big sort of ninja kick. I'm like, this looks kind of cool. Yeah, so it was that, and then after that, it was Mortal Kombat. I think, like arcade first Mortal Kombat.
That's a hell of a jump. That's quite a...
Yeah. But nah, old cassette games on Amstrad.
Incredible. Okay, right. The dead have risen. Your only weapon is something that is around you right now. What are you grabbing?
There's a fucking big pot of plant over there.
All right, I'll kill one, maybe.
Yeah, kill one. I'm just looking at other random shit. There's a printer, acoustic guitar. We just made my son a Deadpool costume so I could look cool while I did it.
You're in trouble, basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I'm fucked. I think it's pretty much. Yeah.
All right, tell me something great about your hometown.
Chuckle Brothers come from here.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. It's a shithole.
There's got to be more than that.
Jive Bunny came from here.
Okay. I don't know who
Jeremy
that is.
Clarkson's first job was here. I don't know if that's a good thing. Yeah, that's about it. Sounds dumb.
Excuse me. Chuckle Brothers, that'll do. Who doesn't know them? Okay. What is your favorite musical? Be it film or stage?
Sound of Music.
Okay.
Possibly Wicked. Possibly Grease. Possibly South Park the movie. I like musicals.
Oh wow! So you are big fans.
Yeah.
Okay. Why Sound of Music? That was the first one that jumped into your head. Why Sound of Music?
He's perfect.
Yeah.
It's if they did a great escape musical, it would be that. But it's memories of watching it at Christmas. Sit and watch this shit for 3 hours.
It gets so weird. It's so weird, that film.
I love it.
Okay, no, fair enough. Who am I to? Right. Okay, you've got one from Dan, the drummer of Crossfire, the Irish thrash metal band. What is the most you've ever drunk, and what was the end result of that?
I actually know what this is. It was the time that I drank so much Jack Daniels in a boozer in Rotherham that I got a T-shirt, and then went back to my wife's parents' house with her and tried not to be sick on a settee that reclined. Oh dear. A T-shirt for drinking so much Jack Daniels. Yeah. I'm going to presume that was quite a lot then. It will have been, yeah, it would have been quite a lot. Okay. Is there a specific type of horror movie that you just can't stomach? I don't like really gory stuff. I mean, gore's cool, but it's like The Fly or The Thing, you know, the really sort of slimy shit. Horror. Yeah, it's not for me. I tried to watch The Fly again recently, and I was like retching 5 minutes before the end. I'm like, no, can't do this. It's incredible when a film or like effects have that effect on you. Yeah, I think trauma films did that to me as well. Similar kind of thing. Yeah, gross out horror. Gross stuff, yeah. Okay, what is your favorite animated TV show, if you have one? Of all time? Yeah, why not? Thundercats. Is that a childhood kind of sort of memory thing, nostalgia? Yeah, bit of that. But if you watch it back, the soundtrack is fucking brilliant. It's a good soundtrack, actually. It's a soundtrack I used to listen to at work. It's great. Okay, you have this interesting question. This one comes from Jason, the vocalist of Ingested, who asked this question. Would you rather have dicks for fingers and toes or a dick for a tongue? Wow, it's got to be Tommy Dick Fingers, isn't it? Yeah, dick fingers and toes, man. I think you're like the second person that's got that one pulled out, because each time it comes out of my hand, I'm like, should I ask this one or should I just chuck it? But because it's from Jason from Ingested, I have to ask it. It's important journalism. You need to ask that one.
I got one more for you then, and this one is a little bit more serious. What is a great film score?
Ooh, see, I like film scores. My all-time favorite is Leon.
Oh, wow. Wow, great.
That's a beautiful score.
Yeah.
I've literally forgotten what the guy's name is that does the score, but he did one of the Bond films, and he basically just used a load of the same notes and the same sounds on.
Oh, really? I don't.
GoldenEye, I think it was, but yeah, no, it's a brilliant score.
Oh, Eric Serra?
Yes, that's the guy.
Yeah, just Google it quickly.
I saw your face light up.
Oh,
yes,
that's it. Yes, amazing one. You're absolutely right. But you know what? As we head towards the winter months and things get a little bit more miserable and a little bit darker and so on, a great soundtrack for that will, of course, be your brand new album, Drowning Glory, which is out to remind everybody on September 27th via APF Records. Of course, if you want a taste of that right this very minute, go listen to This Was Always Going to End in War. It is a different taste, as we discussed at the beginning of this, but a taste nonetheless. And of course, live shows coming up very, very soon, starting on the 12th in Rotherham. So as a time recording, 3 days time. And if you're on the 21st at Birmingham as well, in London and Leicester, and whatever else the rest of the year holds for you. Jon, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.